Hi everyone, welcome to Insights with Lily Zhang. Today I'm going to do a special program on the Great Pyramid. Actually, I believe the Great Pyramid was built by extraterrestrial lives. Well, we call them aliens. I've done 4 series of ancient civilization in Chinese. I was just going to do the Chinese version of ancient civilizations. Well, basically just educate Chinese fans about the Western civilization. But seems not so English-speaking fans ask me, hey, your video looks interesting, but we want to know what you're talking about. Okay, so that's why I'm just thinking I'm going to do a series on the ancient civilizations in English as well. We are 4 series behind the Chinese version, but that's okay. So today that's what I'm going to talk about. The Great Pyramid. Who built the Great Pyramid? When was the Great Pyramid built? How they built the Great Pyramid? And why? Because it's a fundamental question, but those questions we don't have answers. The Egyptologists and archaeologists, they just say, because we say so. But so far, there is no clear evidence. There's no evidence at all. Egyptians built the Great Pyramids. Of course, in Egypt, there are about 118 and 113 pyramids. There are different scale, different types of pyramids in Egypt. I believe, yes, because ancient Egyptians, they have very high skills to build great temples. I've been to Egypt in 2000. I was so impressed by the Egyptian culture, archaeologists. I totally believe they are capable of building those great temples, statues, and mummies. Yeah, but the Great Pyramid, I don't believe they could build it. That's what I'm going to talk about, why I believe so. I'm a big fan of Mr. Eric von Däniken. Yeah, I think he just such a great eye-opener. He just changed our way of thinking and think about how we view ancient civilizations and how we look deeper into the ancient legends. But today I'm not going to talk about legends. I'm going to talk about scientific facts and research. And today I'm going to talk about why I believe the Great Pyramid was built by ancient astronauts from space. When we talk about something, I think most important we're going to talk about when, why, how, who. So that's the fundamental question we're going to ask about Great Pyramid. Let's talk about when the Great Pyramid was built. We know the history of Egyptian civilization was around 3000 BC. So that's about 5,000 years ago. Many archaeologists believe the Great Pyramid was built in that era. But the latest research showing, according to some scientists, the carbon-14. Carbon-14, we know that's for archaeologists to determine the carbon age of some archaeological site and also some ancient lives. So according to those research, they found actually the earliest carbon-14 sign was at least 7000 BC. The latest research showing the age of the Great Pyramid could be around 10,000 years ago. So 10,000 years ago, there's no human civilization. That's our oldest civilization was Sumerian civilization. That's about 6,000 or 7,000 years ago. According to that, the Great Pyramid's age could be double the age of Egyptian history. From there, I don't believe Egyptians built the Great Pyramid. Well, maybe there will be more research on the age of pyramid. But what I don't like is we haven't done enough research on the Great Pyramid. Of course, the Egyptian government probably not allowed too many research on the pyramid because that's their history. If we discover something totally new, like aliens built the pyramid, they'll change history, they'll rewrite history, they'll rewrite even many religions, especially the religions Egyptians believe. That's why I don't think they will not allow many research or deep research on the age of Great Pyramid. Second, I think that's most amazing thing is many people will ask, how did the Great Pyramid been built? It's a massive structure. The Great Pyramid is about 147 meters high, and the base about 13 acres size. And there are about 2.5 million individual stones, each weigh around 3 tons. The weight of the stones range from 1 ton to the biggest around 80 tons. The total mass of the pyramid is about 6.5 million tons. So such a massive, grand structure. How did the Egyptians build it? Do they have the capacity to build it? I seriously doubt it. Because let's just assume these days, 2020, if we are going to build exact the same thing as the Great Pyramid, how are we going to build it? That's a massive, massive structure. So we're going to use helicopters, we're going to use cranes, scaffoldings, trucks, tractors, all those modern technology. We're going to use computer to design. We're going to use all the knowledge we know about geometry, mathematics, engineering, all of this, the modern technology. How much does it cost to build a Great Pyramid? Scientists estimated it's about $5 billion US dollars to build the whole pyramid. And how long does it take? It's we calculate all those engineers, designers, and workforce and machineries. That's about 5,000 people, 5 years. And how do we build it? We're going to use probably the third of the base of the pyramid. We're going to use a ramp and use all those tractors, trucks, and get all those stones. And I don't know how we get the stone. We probably use concrete. We have to use concrete because basically there's not enough stones in Egypt to build the Great Pyramid these days. So we're going to use concrete and make huge concrete in the factory. And ranging from 1 ton to 80 tons. The best theory to build the pyramid, Great Pyramid, is to build the base, 1/3 of the base, by external ramps and the scaffolding. Once that built, and we go to use the internal structure, internal spiral wraps to build from bottom up. And you got to know the Great Pyramid is not a solid structure. It's 1/3 of that is empty. It's got chambers, grilles, and tunnels. So there are quite a lot of structures. You got to let light go through. There are shafts, and you got to air go through. There's a magnetic field inside the pyramid structure as well. And when the ancient pyramid was new, else outside was granite. It's covered by mirror smooth granite. It's pure white, can reflect in lights. And on top of the pyramid, it's solid gold, tons of solid gold. These days we have to use scaffolding and helicopters to do that. Actually, I believe these days if you ask Egyptian government to build it, they can't afford to build it, and they don't have the technology. They don't have the capacity to build it in 2020. So who believed 5,000 years ago when Egyptians can build such a massive structure? In ancient Egypt, they don't even have enough wood. It's desert. And along the River Nile, there are papayas, wheat, and flax. So they don't have big trees. How did they build ramps? How did they pour those tons of, or 80 tons of stones up the ramps? The conventional theory says Egyptians built the Great Pyramid by building a huge ramp. A ramp we estimate has to be more than 3 kilometers long. Well, by the way, if you build a ramp that long, it takes millions of stones and the sand to build it. And they're going to use millions of wood, timber, to roll those stones uphill till the pyramid side. And they say they took the stones from not a nearby quarry, as the quarry was 500 miles away. And by estimation and by the historical data, they said the pyramid was built by about 20,000 men in 20 years. That means they have to put one stone in the place without any gaps, because there's no gaps between the stones. There's no concrete between the stones. The stones just put together perfectly. Even the knife couldn't go through. So they have to pour those stones from 500 miles away and pour the stones up the hill and put those stones in place every 5 minutes, day and night. That's just kind of impossible, right? Every 5 minutes. Even these days, can we put a 1-ton stone every 5 minutes perfectly in place for a new pyramid? Even these days, I don't think it's viable. So, from how the structure of the pyramid, how they built, I think all those conventional methods say how Egyptians built the Great Pyramid. That's just kind of nonsense. It's just fancy. Of course, they are smaller. Like I said before, there are more than 120 pyramids in Egypt. They probably built other pyramids by using those methods, and they built temples that way too. But they couldn't build the Great Pyramid that way. The Great Pyramid is not just a massive, huge, grand stone structure. Its mathematical and astronomical advanced knowledge about the Earth, about the space, is so advanced. Even these days, it's still precisely amazing. Like the Great Pyramid is not just 4 sides. Actually, when you see from above, it's from the air, it's 8 sides. And the alignment of pyramid is amazing. It's absolutely true north. I'm not talking about magnetic north. I'm talking about astronomical north. That's the true north of our Earth. The era is within 0.1 degrees. So even these days, if you want to build a building, a square building, like pyramid-shaped building, you can face the north. But can you be so accurate, just like a compass? There's 4 circles, the four corners of The pyramid is like a compass. Also, whoever designed and built the Great Pyramid, they have a precise knowledge about the shape of the earth, about the scale of the earth, about the latitude and longitude of the earth. The coordinate of the earth is, we only have that knowledge, only being invented in 1600. So how can you imagine 4,000 or 5,000 years ago? People even don't know the earth is a sphere. But someone, somehow, they can design the Great Pyramid from somewhere out of the space. They can see, and also the location of the Great Pyramid is amazing. It's exactly at the center of the earth, exactly the center of the earth's land mass. And the latitude of the Great Pyramid is amazing. It's an amazing number, 299,792,458. That's the latitude of the Great Pyramid. And 299,792,458, anybody knows? That's the speed of light per second. It's so precisely matched. How did ancient Egyptians know the speed of the light? So whoever designed the Great Pyramid, they know exactly the speed of the light. Also, the scale of the pyramid, it's so coordinate to the scale of the earth. Basically, it just decoded the earth's dimensions, the height of the pyramid, and there's a scale of 1 to 43,200. And this is an amazing number too. It's not a coincidence. They use this scale. So by this scale, the height of the pyramid times 43,200, that's the polar radius. At the base circumference of the pyramid times 43,200 is the Earth's equator circumference. Also, they use a very interesting measurement. They don't use meters or inches or feet. They use a royal cubit. Royal cubit, this is a royal cubit. One royal cubit is exactly 1 of 25 million of the polar radius. And one side of the pyramid equals exactly 365 cubit, which is, we all know, that's 365 days, our year. And also, the height of the pyramid is coordinate with the distance from the Earth to our Sun. Basically, the astronomical knowledge of the designer of the Great Pyramid, they are supreme. That's why in 2001 there's a documentary talking about Soviet Union astronauts. They report to KGB. It's in their special secret files. They conclude, because they can see Great Pyramid from the moon, also they recognize the location of the Great Pyramid. It's exactly center of the Earth in the latitude and longitude of the Great Pyramid. They believe the Great Pyramid, the purpose to build it was as a navigation post for ancient astronauts from space travelers. I think from the astronomical and mathematical knowledge of the designer and engineer of Great Pyramid, they cannot be from the Earth. They have to be someone, they have the precise knowledge of the Earth. Also, they can view Great Pyramid from space. And they designed this Great Pyramid. They chose the position of the pyramid for space travel. Also, there are other hypotheses and theories about Great Pyramid's energy creation. From the pyramid's ratios, they can coordinate with the perfect language speak in universe, which is mathematical and musical. The ratio of Great Pyramid, we can see the pyramid shape, the perfect shape, is reflecting the perfect fifth and perfect fourth, the notes. Music is the universal language, also mathematics. I believe if we try to talk to aliens or the universal language, we have to use music and mathematics. The genius inventor Nicolas Tesla, Elon Musk's idol, that's why he used Tesla as his the logo of his car. Tesla is genius. 80% of our modern technology was probably invented by him, like air conditioning, X-rays, computers, and also his knowledge and exploration in the endless energy supply by nature. And Tesla was fascinated by Great Pyramid. Also, he's amazed by the mathematical numbers Great Pyramid encoded. Tesla is crazy about number 3, 6, and 9. He said most of the universal laws were encoded in these numbers we can see from here. Yeah, Tesla actually he spent so much time to do research on the Great Pyramid. The most focused field of him is on the electromagnetic field of the Earth. He believed, our Earth, because the center is a melting core, iron core, and the whole Earth is covered by electromagnetic field. And scientists already recognize the whole Earth is covered by electromagnetic power grid lines. And pyramid basically is in the middle of this power grid line. And also scientists already, the latest research showing inside they use kind of X-ray type technology to show inside of the Great Pyramid. It's called chamber. It's got a great void inside the Great Pyramid. Also, it's found the magnetic field inside the pyramid is very high. And that's why some hypotheses say the Great Pyramid is in ancient time. They can even use water and the sunlight generate hydrogen fusion power. The hydrogen fusion power plus the electromagnetic power, they can basically generate endless power supply for their space shuttles. Well, very interesting discovery. Yeah, unfortunately, Nicolas Tesla, he couldn't completed his endless energy research, but he's already started the journey. I think these days our research into hydrogen fusion power and electric magnetic field power, maybe that's a good direction. We basically can learn so much from the Great Pyramid. Historians and Egyptologists told us, the conventional theory told us, the purpose of the Great Pyramid was the tomb of Khufu Pharaoh. Khufu Pharaoh basically is unknown. He reigned for about 27 years. His only achievement was build the Great Pyramid. Well, that's very doubtful because so far there's no single evidence showing Khufu Pharaoh has built the Great Pyramid. There's no single word talking about why he built the pyramid, how he built the pyramid, and the purpose of the pyramid. And I've been to Egypt. I've seen so many tombs and temples. You always see those inscriptions, descriptions, drawings talking about a story of pharaohs, talk about the palace of gods, full of the inscriptions. But inside the Great Pyramid, there's no single word. Nothing. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. No single word talking about Khufu Pharaoh, talking about the pyramid itself. So that's something very interesting. Basically, in history, we have more evidence showing Khufu Pharaoh didn't build the pyramid, but we have more and more evidence showing the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, definitely not built by ancient Egypt. So the purpose of the Great Pyramid, I already say, that could be a navigation post for space travelers, an energy power grid source for space traveling, and also some hypotheses say that's the communication point between space and Earth, also with other ancient pyramids. The conventional historians, Egyptiologists, archaeologists, they just told us, even without evidence, what happened in the past. One of my friends told me, oh yeah, if we have more scientific research and more evidence, we can maybe think the history was different. But what evidence do you need? What evidence can you find from 10,000 years ago? Well, what about logic? What about the logic of when the pyramid was built, how it was built, why it's built, and the purpose of the Great Pyramid? If we ask those hard questions, we probably understand the conventional history was wrong. We might from another word, another fascinating word. I remember one of my fans, thank you very much, Annie. She's so great. She told me, she said when she went to NASA in Houston, it's a great slogan of NASA. Impressed her so much. She said, this the NASA slogan, she said, where we came from, that's where we are going. Thank you very much, Annie. I really appreciate your contribution. Yes, I totally agree with you. Yes, I believe we probably not came from gorillas and monkeys. I believe we probably came from somewhere much higher than Earth. Our ancestors, they probably seen much greater things than us. That's why they gave us so many fascinating civilizations, ancient civilizations, and they're waiting for us to explore deeper in the universe. So far, all the knowledge, the whole knowledge of the whole human being, everything we know, add up about 4% of the universe. There are 96% of the universe. We have no idea what it is. Like dark matter, dark energies. So that's a fascinating word. And when I answered my fans, they said if we have more technology, more scientific research, maybe we'll change our view of history. But my answer is, why don't we change our mind, our thoughts first? Maybe once we change our mind, change our consciousness, we'll see more. We'll see deeper into the universe. We'll change our angle of the universe. We probably will see totally different world. That's my program today. I think I'll keep doing more research and program on the ancient civilization series, just like my Chinese program. I hope you enjoy that. If you like it, please comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.